written in kitchen language. Because in kitchen there is a lot of kitchen language that only chef understand really. So I did that purposely so you would have no problem understanding what to do. So when you read a recipe, I'll recommend that you take a piece of paper and write down the major step so that you know you have to go through and how they should be applied first, two and three, you know, following each other like this. And then before you put your recipe in the oven, do me a favor, go take a look at your cake or whatever you made or your pie and go through each ingredient again. You know they're in there. Because if you forget one, that's a big oops that it's normally not allowed, okay? So this is where most problems come from is people not focusing on what they do. You have too many interruptions in your life today. So I would suggest when you do a dessert, you lock the kitchen door, you do not turn the TV on, you put those cigarettes away, and the kids and the cats and the dog outside. That's what you do. So you have full concentration in what you do. The only thing I would say you do, and it has helped me all my life, is before you start baking, you open a bottle of wine and you have a glass. And if all else fails, you finish the bottle. You know, anything looks good after a bottle of wine, even your spouses start to look attractive. So, those are my tips on baking, ladies and gentlemen, for tonight. I think they're pretty good tips. Now, when you put liquid in a recipe, space it very well. Most people, they start pouring the egg so fast, so the recipe can take it. It's like you taking this glass of water and dump it down your throat so fast that you can't swallow. What you're going to do, you choke. Same thing for a dough. If you give too much liquid at once, the dough will choke on the liquid you put in. So when you put liquid in it, if it's eggs, milk, water, whatever the recipe calls for, make sure you put some, reasonable amount. Make sure this is all absorbed by the recipe, then proceed with more liquid. Sometimes you have to put some dry ingredient in between. Liquid and dry, okay? Okay? So you see the lemon peel is already put over the egg. So it's in here. Now, we also put in this recipe vanilla extract. So the store, I must say here, are selling the best vanilla extract you can find. And that's important. There is a lot of bad vanilla extract out there. Mainly vanilla extract made in Mexico. Do not buy that extract. And then a lot of people have got sick on it. Okay? So, also read the content of alcohol that usually is in vanilla extract. If it's too much alcohol, meaning 50–60%, there's no vanilla in it. That's going to evaporate right away when you put that in your recipe. Okay, so we put a bit of that. But that's the best there is when it comes to extract. Madagascar, this is the best producing country in vanilla. If it's in bean or extract. Okay, now here, I'm going to put a bit of dry ingredient in there. Now just to tell you how ingredients can change when you make a recipe. Here you have what we call almond flour. This one is fairly coarse, meaning it's fairly coarse. It's not going to absorb the liquid like if it was really fine. So be careful. Because of that, you may have to add at the end a bit more regular flour. Okay? Okay, we're putting the last egg. This is the regular flour. That's all what goes into the recipe. And that's it. You have everything in it. Salt, I think the salt was already in it. Mixed in with the flour. So this is something that is done very, very quickly. Now this mixture will you will be okay to freeze. That will be okay to freeze in a container. And you can bake these in many, many different ways.
She's graduating from our pastry program, so she gets my signature, she gets Tina's signatures, and she gets Roland's signature. Okay. And Laura DeShant also gets the same from the pastry program, so she gets our 3 signatures. Roland just happened to be here tonight, so we have him sign. Now Taylor over here is graduating from both programs tonight. Wow. She is our grand diplome, which means she has done pastry and culinary. We have taken the whip to her for about a year now. And so first, here is her professional pastry program as well. And here is her culinary foundations certificate as well. And because she is graduating both, she also gets a little bubbly. So you guys got to my part. I got one other thing for Taylor.
Oh.
Very good. Very good. What time the party starts?
I think it just started.
I think so.
Okay. The other thing I'm going to give Taylor is a little knife pen for your chef's cup.
So much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
You can bring your mom and pop it right there and get you some glasses.
Time of the year. Guests always enjoy that because it's loaded with good stuff. So now we're going to continue with the bread and butter. This time we're going to cut it a little bit differently. Good? You like that? Well, it's that frangipane which we did. It's very, very delicate, and you don't have a crust. We have no, it's just really buttery and all. And again, you can change the fruit as you go along. We talked about the one you should not be using, the one that release too much juice. But blueberries, as you can see, and you have a lot of blueberries there. So the flavors are there. And I recommend this anytime to do a dessert, for your family or for a restaurant. So now we put in triangle like these all around the pan. Like this. We push that against the edge. I think we're going to take the spot out if you don't mind.
How many of you don't want to eat the swan because it's too pretty?
But there's no meat in that swan, so please do.
But it's so beautiful. It's adorable.
Beautiful. Look at this. Look at the spot.
Burnt.
Go to your room.
No,
Look at it. It's beautiful. Now you see it start bubbling a lot. You can see. And sometimes, it's good, but it makes my dough soggy. But it's still going to be good. Don't get me wrong.